Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome here to River Forest today on Saturday, January 18th for Game 2 of a double-action basketball day here in Geisman Gymnasium at Concordia University, Chicago. I'm Jonathan Shearer with the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today is Eric Perry, and we are here for another matchup between the Concordia Chicago Cougars and the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors. This time, it's the Cougars men's team taking on the number 8 Wisconsin Lutheran men's basketball team, and safe to say, elite team coming in to River Forest today. And the Cougars, they're coming off of a tough stretch the last couple days. 3-game losing streak from Concordia Chicago, couple late losses, most recently on 111-91 loss at MSOE this past Wednesday. And obviously the Cougars, Eric, gave up a lot of points, but they had a lot of players put up points as well.
They did, yeah. They had a lot of points coming off the bench. One of those key ones being Elijah White. He had 13 points from the bench. One of the better games we've seen him have this season.
Yeah, and White, he likes to shoot threes. We've seen that work out. He types out as a stretch big, and we've seen him struggle to hit those threes consistently as points. Didn't struggle to against MSOE. That could be huge for the Cougars today, as was the diversity in the scoring. They had 5 different players reaching double digits, but Wisconsin Lutheran had a much better game. They're on a 6-game win streak, 13-1 on the season, 6-1 in conference. And on this 6-game win streak, their most recent win was a payback win. They went to the south side and got their revenge over Illinois Tech, the only team to beat them this season, winning 96-48, and a lot of good performances out of Wisconsin Lutheran's team that day, but there's one that stood out.
Oh yeah, it's Jacob Stoltz. There's no doubt about it. He had 26 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. He was almost unstoppable in that game against Illinois Tech, making sure that they got their revenge for the upset earlier in this season.
And with all of those counting stats, for me the most notable one is his consistency. 9 for 10 from the field, nearly flawless against Illinois Tech. That's something you don't see often out of even the best basketball players. And that's a player the Cougars are going to have to look to shut down. There's a lot of good players on this Wisconsin Lutheran squad. Stoltz, though, is one of those that you are going to have to focus on, especially coming off of such a good game as he had this past Wednesday. It is going to be a tough game for the Cougars. They are heavy underdogs going into this one. You're taking on a top 10 team in the nation. What do you think CUC has to do to get the job done? Because it's going to be a lot of work to even have a chance to get it done. I
think it's going to come down to getting production from their starters. You mentioned 5 players scored in the double digits in their last game. Only 2 of those were starters. And, you know, Jacob Collicott's been on a bit of a downstretch recently. They need him to get back up to where he was earlier this season. And if they can get the good quality points from their starters, then they can definitely at least hang with this Wisconsin Lutheran team.
Absolutely. And for me, I'm looking more on the Cougars' offense as well. It's consistency, though. Last time out against MSOE in the first half, there were 2 10-0 runs that the Raiders went on. And that gap at the end of the game ends up being around 10 points. Those runs, those droughts add up. And the Cougars need to find ways to keep scoring consistency. Don't allow the Warriors to go on big runs, to build big gaps so that you don't have a gap to climb out of. You have to find a way to produce consistency from, like you mentioned, a lot of different areas out on the court. But before we get going, just a quick look at the history between these two squads. 30 games played between these two teams, and it's in favor of WLC. The Cougars have won 10. The Warriors have won 20 of those, and it's 3 straight for the Warriors. The most recent of those coming right here in River Forest last year. Warriors put up 91 on Concordia Chicago, and a lot of the names you heard in that game, a lot of threes put up in that game. You'll see those names again, and you can almost be sure to see some big threes today as well. But that'll do it for the pregame show. Should be an exciting game. Number 8, Wisconsin Lutheran College taking on the Concordia University Chicago Cougars here in River Forest. We'll be back in just a few minutes for that game right here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome to Geisman Gymnasium. Well, welcome back for Game 2 of today's doubleheader of basketball action. It's the Cougars and the Warriors again. This time, it's the men's teams, and one of those teams has got a little number 8 next to their name, the nationally ranked Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors, coming in to River Forest and looking to continue what's already a six-game win streak. As we get ready for tip-off, it's Ryan Breckel going up against Jacob Collicott at midcourt, and Breckel wins it handily. Breckel, one of the most dominant players in the Northern Athletic Collegiate Conference over the last couple of years, back for one last year in Wauwatosa, as there's a long three from A.J. Voss to get it started. No good. Rebounded by the Cougars. And Darian Williams pushing the pace, slings it to Beckman, back over to Jacob Collicott. Collicott second in points per game in the conference on the season. Jacob Stoltz on the other side of the court. He's fourth in the conference in points per game as Sean Beckman drives, fadeaway, no good. Rebound, Aaron Brown gets up there, blocked by A.J. Voss.
Good first shot, wasn't able to fall, and then that second one just got blocked away immediately by Wisconsin Lutheran.
Slashing in is Jacob Stoltz. Now a three from Breckel. Good! Ryan Breckel gets the Warriors on the board first. And that is the most dangerous part of this Warriors team. They lead the NAC in three-pointers made per game. And there are so many players on this roster that are a threat.
Yeah, it's not just Breckel. It's also Heffley, who's shooting 52% from three. It's Stoltz. They have multiple players that can just kill you with those three-point shots.
Now Brown driving, gets up there and in for two. Aaron Brown, he has come on big in the last few games for the Cougars as Joel Watts jumping in there to slap that out of bounds and force the Warriors to restart. Now Watts, he leads the NAC in steals per game, and that's one of the biggest indicators of how this Cougars team loves to cause chaos. Joel Watts, 3.5 steals per game, leads the NAC. Jacob Collicott, 3.4 steals per game, second in the NAC. Not another player on that list until you get down to 2.5 steals per game.
Yeah, this is a Concordia team that loves to keep the intensity up, loves to keep the speed, and they love doing that by trying to create steals.
And Heffley driving in, that's going to be tapped away by Watts, so a reset of possession now for the Warriors. It'll be Stoltz dropping through the baseline to inbound. Finds Getz, driving in on Collicott. Little floater, no good. Collicott with the rebound. Long pass to Brown, who's able to reel it in. Sling it to Williams. Three, no good. Long over the rim. Rebounded by Breckel. Now Getz will bring it down. Getz, who plays more minutes per game than anyone in the NAC. Slings it back to Breckel. Hands it off to Stoltz. Stoltz thought about it, now driving in. Mid-range jumper blocked by Collicott. And Collicott looking to finish the play. And he does. Jacob Collicott with the block to a bucket. And the Cougars are on top.
Jacob Collicott's had a bit of a down stretch, hoping to break that with this game, and he's off to a very good start.
Getz working around Breckel, slings it to the corner, out to Stoltz beyond the perimeter. Stoltz driving, working on Williams, still working on Williams, tipped away. Now Stoltz gets it to Breckel. Breckel gonna go to work on Beckman, fade away, and it puts the Warriors back up on top, 5-4.
Nice play by Breckel to just twist and move until he could get a semi-decent shot off.
Watts struggling to get past half court, just has to sling it to Beckman. Now Brown, he's just going to drive in on Breckel and get an easy layup. Aaron Brown, his second bucket of the day. Brown, his third straight game started after he started this year on the bench. He has come on so big for CUC. Now Heffley driving in, back out to Breckel, mid-range jumper, good. Ryan Breckel continues his big start to the game. The Warriors have 7 points. Breckel has every single one of them.
That's a little bit of a surprise because Stoltz is usually the key driving force for the offense, but hey, hasn't been an issue so far.
Beckman's three tipped out of bounds on the rebound by Brown. And Stoltz, he's coming off of a very big game, but Ryan Breckel, I mean, he's really been the backbone of this Warriors team for a long time. I mean, you look on his profile on Wisconsin Lutheran's website, and that list of accolades is incredibly long as Breckel's shot there. No good. Rebounded by Collicott. Quickly down to Beckman. Beckman driving on Breckel. Goes into Breckel and blocked. Can't get past Breckel.
Beckman tried to find the angle for the shot, but just wasn't able to. And 33-on-33 violence we saw there.
And yeah, a couple of those that list of accolades for Ryan Breckel. 2023-2024 NAC Student Athlete of the Year. 2024-2025 D3 Hoops 4th Team Preseason All-American. he really is the backbone of this team. He's showing why early on in this game. As now you see Heffley, 3, and there it is. Jacob Heffley can turn it on from deep. He is a three-point shooter. He types out as that, and he's effective. Now Collicott trying to just slash his way to the hoop, and he can't get past Ryan Breckel. Brown there for the rebound, and A.J. Voss disrupts that pass. We'll see if he slows up this possession. Back to Stoltz, 3. And Sean Beckman putting pressure on Stoltz from behind, disrupting that. Stoltz over to Breckel. Breckel for 3. That one's good. Ryan Breckel, through 5 minutes, is at 10 points already. That's going to prompt a timeout from head coach Rashawn Searles. And Wisconsin Lutheran and their big man are off to a strong start today.
Yeah, Breckel's been everywhere. Like you said, he has 10 points, 4 from 5 shooting, 2 for 2. From to go along with his 4 rebounds, to go along with his 2 rebounds and a block. He's been almost unstoppable here on the first 4:45 of the game.
And these teams have already faced off once this year. Warriors won 91-67. Who do you think it was that led the Warriors in that game? It was Ryan Breckel, 22 points. In that last outing, a double-double with 11 rebounds. 1 for 2 from 3 in that game. He's already 2 for 2 today. 10 points through 5 minutes is remarkable efficiency. And the Cougars haven't really played poorly so far to start this game, but it is incredibly hard to keep up with an offensive performance like the one the Warriors have been putting on early here.
Well, look at it. Wisconsin Lutherans had an 8-0 run in just a minute and 20 seconds. They're able to just get possession and score quickly.
Joe Watts taking point now, gets it to Sean Beckman. Beckman able to get it to Collicott in the corner. Collicott driving baseline, gets up there! And that's going to be a charge on Jacob Collicott, who takes a hard fall down onto the court. That'll be Collicott's first foul of the day.
That was a bit of a rough landing on Collicott there, and he doesn't even get the foul on Wisconsin Lutheran to show for it.
Heffley inbounds to Getz. Getz will take it down, working on Johnson. Getz trying to slash in. Flings it out to Voss. Voss tries to get in, gets it into Breckel. Breckel working on Beckman on the baseline, out to Voss at 3. Voss driving baseline, and a slam dunk for A.J. Voss, who gets up there and brings it down, makes it a 9-point lead for the Warriors. Aaron Brown trying to push the pace the other way. Sean Beckman to Williams. Williams moving central, gets it down to Brown, mid-range jumper, well short.
That's a bad miss by Brown there, just an air ball.
Stoltz driving, layup no good, rebounded by Beckman. And the Cougars trying to push the pace, try and switch that momentum. And Darian Williams able to draw a foul, little blocking foul on Jacob Heffley, so that'll slow this pace down.
Concordia loves to run. They're a very fast-paced team, but as we've seen so far, Wisconsin Lutheran has said, all right, we can do that too. And so far, they've done it better than Concordia has.
I mean, up until just like within the last couple of days, MSOE now technically scoring 0.1 point per game more than the Cougars. These were the two highest scoring teams in the conference. The Cougars are fast. They put up a lot of points. The Warriors, even more so. Tallis Lowry now in the game, working point, driving in, spin move, loses his dribble, has to dish it back out. Brown on the perimeter, driving in on Breckel, spin move, lays it in. Nice little move from Aaron Brown to pick up his 6th point of the day and get the Cougars back up on the board.
Yep, helps end an almost 3-minute scoring drought for the Cougs, and now trying to break this lead.
Breckel for 3, good again!
Wow.
Ryan Breckel, 13 points on the day, 3 for 3 from 3. And Joel Watts steps out of bounds. Everything is going WLC's way. They lead by 10 early on.
This was a close game in the opening 1 to 2 to 3 minutes, and then Ryan Breckel just turned it on. He just started nailing his threes. He's been a presence everywhere on the court. 13 of Wisconsin Lutheran's 18 points.
Grayson gets working down the far side. Tries to hand it off to Heffley. He'll keep it himself. Working on Kenton Pryor. Dishes it off, and that's a nice layup from Jaquel Chisholm. Gets it up and gets it down.
That was a well-designed play that was able to get Chisholm to the rim to just throw up the light layup.
Watts to Williams to Lowry. Lowry dishes into White. White gets up for two. Elijah White coming off of the best game of his career. 13 points, 3 for 5 from 3. Gets on the board there.
Breckel reached for that pass, but unfortunately it was just out of his reach.
Now Getz dishing off to Heffley. Heffley sliding into Anundu. Working on Lowry.
Ooh, nice.
And Anamdu able to get himself up on the board for the first time today. Watts trying to push the pace quickly. Double team in the backcourt. Just has to sling it over to White, who slings it into Pryor. Pryor driving on Breckel. Puts it up and in.
Concordia is starting to find their shooting feet now. They went almost 3 minutes without a shot. They've hit their last several.
That one knocked out of bounds by Pryor. That'll be Wisconsin Lutheran's ball. I mean, I talked before the game. The Cougars needed to score consistently. As far as droughts go, that wasn't that bad. The difference is the Warriors are playing at such a high pace right now and scoring at such a high rate that it doesn't matter that the Cougars aren't having that much inconsistency with their scoring. The Warriors are just playing that well right now.
Concordia's been playing good. The only issue for them is that Wisconsin Lutheran, and specifically Brian Breckel, have been playing great.
Stoltz dishing over to Getz. Getz handing it off to Anamdu. Long shot, no good. Anamdu able to get there. Almost able to tap it in, but it taps it down out of bounds, so that'll be a Cougar ball.
Concordia now trying to get this lead back into the single digits, try to give themselves the ability to get back into this game.
Williams to Lowry. Williams able to get it past half court back over to Lowry. Working it to Watts. Watts finds Williams. Cougars working around the perimeter. 15 left on the shot clock. That's off Lowry's foot. Williams is able to pick it up. Now Williams driving in, stops, jumper off the backboard and in. Cuts that lead under 10.
Very fortunate bounce off the foot. Went straight to Williams, who's able to get the shot
Now
out.
Chisholm driving on White and one! Jaquel Chisholm gets up there and gets it in, and now he's got a chance for a 3-point play.
Just when Concordia cuts this lead to single digits, Wisconsin Lutheran immediately answers, and now is the chance to get that and one.
Chisholm was just able to just be strong through the contact from White on the arm, on the ball, pushing through that and able to get the control on the release that he wanted either way. And that 3-point play makes it an 11-point ball game once again.
Concordia trying to regroup and figure out what to do now. They've hit 4 from the last 4. The shots falling aren't an issue. It's the defense that's been lacking.
Tallis Lowry now taking point. Slinging over to Watts. Watts back over to Williams. Williams for 3. No good off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Stoltz. Stoltz pushing the pace, working on Williams. Trapped in the corner, flings it out to Getz. A great escape from Jacob Stoltz. And now Breckel working on White, driving in. Driving on White, one-on-one, spinning, putting it up. No good. Rebounded by White. That's the second miss of the day for Breckel.
Luckily for Concordia, Wisconsin Lutheran wasn't able to capitalize off that great play by Stoltz.
Now Lowry driving in, step, rebound, Pryor swarmed by 3 Warriors, and Wisconsin Lutheran gets the rebound. Gets now taking point, letting his teams catch up with him. Over to Anamdu. Anamdu working into the paint, putting up a short shot. No good. And it looks like that's going to be a turnover, quite possibly 3 points in the paint. And that'll be Cougar ball. Williams to inbound.
And Breckel's been everywhere in these first 10 minutes. That's only his first turnover. He's been very good about keeping the ball safe.
Watts working on Heffley, driving in himself now, stepping behind the perimeter, now driving in again, slinging out to Williams, 3. That one's good for Darian Williams.
First made Concordia 3 of the night, and they've got this lead once again down to single digits.
Heffley working on Lowry, swarmed by Watts, dishing out to Breckel, slinging it across to Voss for 3. No good off the back of the rim. Cougars getting their own way. Lowry's able to intercept that pass, pushing the pace on Breckel. Long step, no shot, but he is able to draw the foul. That's going to get tagged on Breckel. Breckel's first of the day.
After the play, A.J. Voss kind of spiked the basketball in anger over that. Now Concordia with the chance to cut this lead down to a 2-possession game.
Watts will inbound. Finds Williams in the corner. Corner 3. No good. Off the side of the rim. Lowry rebound, driving in. Swarmed. Blocked by Breckel. Gets the loose ball. That pass. Voss gets it, but tips it out of bounds. Head coach Aaron Annenson is there to pick it up out of the air. A little disappointed, small little frown on Annenson's face. Not too worried, as Watts will now inbound it for the Cougars to Lowry, over to Pryor. 10 seconds left on the clock. Williams working at the top of the key, driving in, step back, shot, no good, wide right of the rim, and Voss will get the rebound. Stoltz working, Breckel driving in, fouled, and one again! Brian Breckel just too big for the Cougars. And that man will go to the line already at 15 points on the day now. Chance to make it 16.
You mentioned he had 22 points in the game against Concordia back in December. He's already at 15, potentially hitting 16 here tonight.
Ryan Breckel, free throw no good, rebounded by Watts. Watts pushing the pace to A.J. Willard, who's going to go up on Breckel, thinks better of it and steps back.
Yeah, every time Concordia's tried to drive on Breckel tonight, it has not really worked out for them.
Watts with space, dishing to Collicott, corner 3, in! Jacob Collicott brings us back to a 7-point game.
And really, these teams have been trading shots for shots. It was just that little 3-minute drought earlier that allowed Wisconsin Lutheran to jump into the lead.
Stoltz driving, pushing through contact, no fouls called. No good. Rebound by Watts, who's pushing the pace, slinging it to Collicott. Another corner 3, this time no good. Rebounded by Voss. Jacob Collicott aggressive with a steal attempt there.
He tried his best to get that steal, unfortunately didn't quite work out.
Lubbers driving in, loses possession. Collicott with a steal. Dishing to Willard. Willard losing possession, trying to get to it, picked up off the ground by Breckel. And both of these teams starting to get a little sloppy in the last minute.
Both these teams are really picking up the pace, and they are showing the clear signs.
And there's going to be a transition foul called on A.J. Willard. And that one, Willard's still not very happy with the call. Coach Searle's not a bit confused with it as well. That's something Willard has struggled with this year, is transition fouls. Now Getz moving into the mid-range, back out to Breckel. Another 3. And that one is no good, rebounded by Watts.
That's going to be Breckel's first missed 3 of the night.
Over to White from 3. No good, short off the front of the rim.
Had a good look, just not enough strength behind it.
Now Getz driving mid-range, working on Pryor, puts it up, no good. Rebounded by Chisholm. Chisholm now, reverse, no good. Rebounded by Watts. Long pass to Collicott. Trying to work on Breckel, gets up there, no good. But Collicott able to get the call.
Nice behind-the-back play by Collicott to help avoid the ball from going out of bounds and to go up and draw the foul now. He's going to be heading to the line for the first time tonight.
Breckel, hands on the head, doesn't like that foul. Yeah, it's Breckel's second foul of the game. Coach Onenson having a conversation with the official, trying to understand why the call was made. Collicott's first free throw, no good. And now Breckel coming over to talk to the official himself before he gets subbed out.
We've seen Collicott struggle a little bit with free throws throughout the season. He's cleaned up recently, but as he hits the second one there, but still a little bit of an issue for him.
6-point game now. Yeah, Collicott attempts more free throws than almost anyone else in the conference. Free throw percentage isn't where he would like it to be, not at the top of the conference, but he makes it work.
Yeah.
Now Voss trying to dish into gets it there into Chisholm. Chisholm no good. Foul called on Williams. That'll send Chisholm to the line.
Good play defensively by Concordia in the paint. Unfortunately, Williams got his hand on Chisholm's arm as he went up, and now Chisholm is shooting too.
Chisholm's first shot splashes in. Seven-point game. Chisholm looking to make it 8. The Warriors struggling from the field in the last couple of minutes. 1 for their last 7.
And yet they're still managing to hold on to an 8-point lead here over the Cougars.
Watts pushing the pace. Gets it to Collicott, working on Getz. No good on the long layup, rebound Getz. Getz now pushing the pace to Heffley. Heffley hasn't had many opportunities to shoot today.
No, he's only taken one shot.
Getz, good pass to A.J. Voss. Getz shows off the vision, back to a 10-point lead for the Warriors. Watts slings it to Collicott. Collicott thought about a 3, gets it out to Williams. Williams driving, he's gonna go for a shot. That's a poor shot. Looked like Wagner might have gotten a hand on it. Now Heffley thought about pulling up, dishes to Wagner instead. Wagner working on Brown, back out to Getz. Getz now, 4-3. No good. Going up for the rebound is a lot of players. Willard down on the ground, and that'll be a jump ball. That'll go the way of the Cougar.
When it comes to the rebound, it's been a very evenly matched game so far. Wisconsin Lutheran has 14. The Cougars have 15. Wisconsin Lutheran has 3 offensive rebounds. The Cougars have 5. Unfortunately, the Cougars do not have a field goal in the last 3 minutes.
Lowry will inbound for CUC. Warriors showing a high press. Lowry able to get past midcourt. Takes the screen, back to Beckman. Beckman straight away 3, in!
Buries it.
First chance Beckman's had to show off his range today, and it's back down to 7.
He was left wide open at the top of the key by Wisconsin Lutheran, and he made them pay for it.
Gets at the mid-range, taking on Williams, working on Williams, still working on Williams. Loose ball, gets able to get there and get it out to Stoltz. Stoltz, step back, slings to Getz. Getz driving in on Beckman. A nice no-look pass that's disrupted. And now Brown pushing the pace. And a bad pass to Lowry, but they're going to get the blocking call on Stoltz. So the Cougars will not come away with that drive in disappointment.
Very lucky break there for the Cougs. That pass was wide and was heading out of bounds. Stoltz kind of bailed him out there with that foul call.
So WLC will take their first time out, and it's a full of the day. And as they take a break on the court, we'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a minute. 5 minutes of this half. Welcome back to River Forest here on the Cougar Sports Network. I'm Jonathan Shear with Eric Perry. We're ready for the last 5 minutes of the first half here in Geisman Gymnasium. Cougars trail the Warriors 31-24.
Been a very fast-paced game tonight. Both teams love to run the ball, love to try to get fast breaks, and so far, Wisconsin Luther's been winning that battle.
That inbound goes to Collicott. Collicott trying to drive in on Voss. Instead has to flick it back out to Lowry. Back to Collicott. Collicott able to get it into Brown, who's going to drive into the paint, gets it up and in. Aaron Brown muscles through contact and makes it a 5-point game.
Nice shot by Brown. Got a nice bounce off the back of the rim. Putting it a 2-possession game here for Concordia.
Gets driving into the paint, slinging out to Voss. Voss for three, no good. Rebounded by Collicott. Sean Beckman now driving quickly into the paint. No good. Rebounded by Chisholm. Now Chisholm, he'll push the pace back the other way. And a bad pass to A.J. Voss. Got behind it. It was out of bounds, and the Cougars will take possession back.
I think Chisholm thought Voss was going to stop right there in front of our student section. Unfortunately for him, Voss just kept running.
And back into the game for the Warriors is Ryan Breckel, and that's needed for WLC. They're on a 2+ minute scoring drought right now.
Breckel has just under half their points, 15 of the 31. They're hoping that he can get back to that now.
Lowry slings it to Brown. Brown, three, no good. Rebounded by Voss.
It's a good look. Unfortunately, did not land for Concordia. Otherwise, this would have made this a 2-point game.
Jacob Stoltz pulls up from three and bangs it in! Jacob Stoltz, his first tray of the night. And that breaks a long drought for the Warriors, and that pass pickpocketed by Lowry.
Collicott tried to go for the bullet pass. Unfortunately, Lowry got there first.
Now Stoltz driving in, and Brown able to draw the charge, and that is a hard fall for Stoltz.
Rough landing there on that one. And that three he just hit on the prior possession was actually his first points of the night. Prior to that, he'd been 1 for 4 from the field.
And Stoltz just going to walk it off as he's slow to get up. That's a foul on Stoltz as he'll sub out of the game. Williams will inbound for the Cougars. Back into the game is Lucas Anamdu. Collicott to Watts. So Watts will be taking point.
Cougars trying to answer that Stoltz three with some points of their own.
Watts driving in, slinging to Collicott. Corner three. No good. Rebounded by A.J. Voss.
Collicott had a clean look. He just put too much on it.
Gets over to Anamdu. Gets covered by Watts. Into Breckel. Breckel is going to drive. Breckel's going to go up. Breckel's going to get it in.
And that's what he's been doing all night long.
And now there's a long pass. Brown going to drive straight in, put it up, and no good. Collicott gets up for the rebound. Loose ball, gets it. Williams to Watts. Watts driving in now, gets past Breckel and lays it in.
Corey managed to quickly get this back into the single digits. That breaks the 2-minute scoring drought for them.
Now Getz taking advantage of that pick from Breckel, working into the paint. Stolen by Williams. Now Williams laying off to Collicott, driving straight in. Nice pass to Brown. Collicott rebound out of bounds, knocked out of bounds by Voss. And something I noticed, and I don't want to forget it as we have a quick break here. Check out Lucas Anamdo's shoe combo. I kind of like it. Got the one white shoe, got the one black shoe. A unique fit on the feet for Anamdu.
Able to represent both the school colors in one game.
Now Watts slinging to Willard. And that's going to go out of bounds off the foot of Anamdu. That one's off the black shoe. The white shoe was not involved with that one.
White shoe managed to avoid getting any dust or whatever on it. Manages to stay clean for now.
Inbound to Beckman, straight back to Williams, disrupted by Getz. Now Getz working up the court, working on Willard. Driving past Willard into the paint, puts it up and in. Grayson Getz able to get on the board for the first time tonight.
And there was a period where Concordia was really hitting lights out briefly, but now they're 1 for their last 7 from the field. And that's allowed Wisconsin Lutheran to get this a 10-point game.
Williams driving in, no good. Rebounded by Hans. Anamdu pushing the pace. Driving in straight in himself. Going up, no good. Breckel, rebound, Breckel 2. And that's going to prompt a timeout from Coach Searles. 12-point deficit now for CUC again. And it's felt like they've been so close to being able to reel this game back in at a couple points, but it just keeps falling out of reach.
Yeah, at one point, this was a 31-26 game. Concordia had the ball opportunity to make it a one-possession game. They weren't able to convert, and since then they've gone 1 for 8 from the field, and Wisconsin Lutheran has scored 9 points since. And obviously Ryan Breckel coming back into the game, scoring twice quickly. He's just continuing what he did last game against Concordia, except to a way higher level. 22 in the December game, 19 with a minute still to go here in the first half. Been almost unstoppable.
And as we come out of timeout, it'll be Cougar ball. Watts dropping back to inbound. He'll send that in to Willard. Willard back over to Watts. Watts working on Hans, able to get past midcourt. Driving towards the left side, now driving straight in, goes up, and that will be a foul called on Sam Hans.
Hans thought he had a clean block all ball. Unfortunately, ref thought that he hit the arm or the hand.
That was actually a foul called on Heffley. I didn't catch out Heffley was involved. That's Heffley's second foul of the day. So Watts will step to the line, and he will miss his first shot. Hands on the head. Cougars 1 for 3 from the line now.
Joel Watts has been a big player for Concordia this season. He only has 2 points tonight. Wisconsin Lutheran's done a good job of making sure that he hasn't been able to get any good shots.
That one also no good. Watts goes 0 for 2 at the line.
That's uncharacteristic for Watts. He's an 88% free throw shooter normally.
Now Getz working the paint, working on Willard, dishing out to Hans. 3, bangs it in, Sam Hans. Why don't you get you some? His first bucket of the night.
1 attempt, 1 made 3.
Watts looking to work on Anamdu. Now working on Getz, dishing over to Willard. Willard driving out to Beckman. Beckman gonna drive all the way across to Watts. Watts driving baseline, gonna go up. That is an easy layup. Plenty of space for Watts, and under 30 seconds to go now in the half.
Wisconsin Lutheran can take the last shot if they choose to. Interesting to see if they do choose to.
Getz in the corner working baseline on Brown. He'll go up and he'll get that in for 2. 10 seconds left. Cougars gonna have to go quick if they want to finish off this half with a bucket. Watts, he'll keep it himself. He'll pull up for 3. And that's in for Joel Watts. A buzzer beater 3 to bring the Cougars out of the first half. And we'll head to the locker room. The Warriors lead 45-33. The Cougs trail by 12 after a strong first half from the Warriors and a first half where the Cougars just couldn't keep up with the pace of WLC. As these teams head to the locker room to regroup and catch a breath, we'll take a break here on the Cougar Sports Network, and we'll be back in just a few moments for more Cougar basketball.
Hey Cougar fans, Michaela Ellis here. Come support the elderly at CIT. Link down below. Hope to see you there.
Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome back to River Forest here in Geisman Gymnasium at Concordia University, Chicago for half number 2 of today's final game of the doubleheader. It's the Wisconsin Lutheran College Warriors taking on the Concordia Chicago Cougars. The Warriors lead 45-33 through the first half, and that's led by a big day from their star player, Ryan Breckel.
Yeah, Breckel's just been a monster in this game. He's got 19 points. He's been everywhere, it feels like, and that's double than any Concordia player. Aaron Brown's got 8. Breckel's just been almost unstoppable this game. He's even been nailing threes, been getting close-up layups. He's been a beast.
One of the most interesting things to look at coming out of this first half is that really the main difference maker in the game so far has been shot making. Everything else is pretty much even. Same amount of turnovers, same amount of fouls, assists. I mean, a couple more for Wisconsin Lutheran. That's the difference is going to be made because the Warriors are making more of their shots. 51% from the field. Cougars 36% from the field, and that's going to cause a pretty big difference. I mean, you're at a 12-point difference right now, and a lot of that, I mean, that adds up with those kinds of missed shots.
Yeah, when Concordia goes on a 2-minute drought here and then a 2-minute drought there and another 2-minute drought later, that's 6 minutes in the first half where they're not scoring points, and that's 6 minutes where Wisconsin Lutheran is. When Concordia hasn't been able to score, Wisconsin Lutheran's all too happy to make some buckets themselves. But you mentioned this is an even game. It's been an even game, again, in everything else. 6 turnovers against 6 turnovers. 20 rebounds against 21 rebounds. Concordia's been playing well. The only difference is that they haven't been able to hit the shots like Wisconsin Lutheran has.
You got to pick a player from Concordia, Chicago you want to watch in this half, Eric. Who are you going with? Because the scoring's been pretty evenly spread out between CUC's players so far.
Yeah, it's been 7 to 8 to 6 to 5. I don't know. I'm going to say Jacob Collicott. We didn't hear a whole lot from him in the first half. He was around briefly, but he only has 6 points. If he can get going in this second half like he has been in past games, then he can help pull Concordia back into this game. They're only down 12. They had a full 20 minutes left to play. They're still very much alive.
.12 difference as these two teams get ready to go here in the second half. Our leading scorer so far, Ryan Breckel, 19 points. He's got an 8 for 11 from the field on the Concordia end. Aaron Brown at 8 points. He's gone 4 for 11 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. The Cougars, 4 made threes. The Warriors, 6 made threes. 3 of those from Ryan Breckel. He's been all over the place today, really dictating the pace of the game when he's out on the court. And I'll continue to do so as we get ready to go here for the second half. Warriors will start with possession.
Joel Watts drained a deep 3 at the end of the first half to make this a 12-point game instead of a 15-point game. So that means that Wisconsin Lutheran is going to get the ball first.
And Stoltz will take possession off the inbound, moving all the way across court to A.J. Voss. Warriors and Cougars both back to their starting lineups. Stoltz over to Heffley, sliding into Breckel. Breckel looking to go to work on Beckman, and he will. Nice spin move reverse off the bottom of the backboard, though. Loose ball eventually picked up by Brown, slings it to Beckman. Beckman tries to sling it to Williams. It goes off the knee and out of bounds off of Grayson Getz. So the Cougars will retain possession, but they won't get the first break opportunity.
We've already got a quick start to this second half. Both teams running. I saw a deep, almost baseball pass there that was broken up.
That inbound tipped, but still gotten by Beckman. Beckman to Watts. Watts working from the top of the key, calls a play. Sliding in to Beckman. Beckman looking to drive on Breckel. He'll sling it back out to Watts. 10 seconds left on the clock. Watts, a long 3, and in! Joel Watts, nothing but net on a high arcer, and the Cougars are within 9.
That was very much a desperation 3 to avoid a shot clock violation, but he got it in there.
Jacob Collicott gets the rebound. Brown drives, no good. Rebound Voss.
Some fast-paced offense by both teams to start.
Now Getz driving on Collicott, leaning in, trying to get a foul. Collicott avoids it. Rebound Watts. Williams pushing the pace to Collicott in the corner, matching up with Getz. And Collicott puts into Brown, and that will be out of bounds Cougar ball. Voss stepped out of bounds while he had it.
Some tight defense being played in the paint, and the area near the basket by Wisconsin Lutheran, forcing Concordia to take deeper shots.
Now Watts driving. That's disrupted by Breckel. Beckman gets it. Free throw shot from Brown is good. He's up to double digits.
And just like that, this is a 7-point game.
2 minutes into the second half. Warriors yet to score. Stoltz mid-range out to Breckel. Breckel now driving. Breckel spin, layup, no good. Rebound, Brown.
That's 2 close shots missed by Breckel to start this second half.
Now Watts out on the perimeter, calling his men around. Over to Brown. Brown driving on Breckel, puts it up. Fouled by Breckel, and Breckel is not happy about that one. That's going to be Breckel's 3rd foul of the day. First player on either squad into foul trouble.
So now that's something you have to watch. Breckel, the team leader by far, but if he's in foul trouble, you're going to have to probably sit him for at least a few minutes.
Yeah, and that's a needed timeout from Coach Onenson. His team, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, yet to score, and the Cougars prepping up for a couple free throws here.
Yeah, Concordia's got the chance to cut this to a 5-point game, make it a 7-point swing to start the second half. And Concordia got to feel very much, they're feeling like, hey, we're back in this. That deep 3 by Watts to end the first half woke up something in us, and we're just going to keep pouring it on.
I mean, we saw this a lot in the first half. It's not large droughts that are killing the Cougars. It's small droughts because the Warriors are scoring at a good pace. And honestly, the Cougars aren't scoring at an exceptionally electric pace. Or 2 minutes, 20 seconds in, they made 2 buckets. Mm-hmm. But the difference is the Warriors now are having their real first substantial negative drought that they've had all game. I mean, they've been on a drought before, but it's when the Cougars were on a drought.
Yeah.
So this is not where the Warriors wanted to be coming out of the half.
No, at halftime they probably said, hey, listen, we're up 12. Breckman's been playing great. We just got to – our defense has been really solid at providing droughts. Let's just keep doing what we're doing. And the Cougar game plan must have switched up at halftime because Wisconsin has been doing what they were doing, and it's not working anymore.
So out of the timeout, it'll be Aaron Brown at the free throw line. Chance to cut it to a 5-point game if he is flawless. He's first trip to the line today. Brown currently tied for the team lead in points as the officials have a discussion with Coach Searles and Onenson about a ball, and they'll let Jacob Collicott give it a try. Ryan Breckel will give it a try. They both raise their eyebrows. Now Joel Watts gives it a try. A couple hard bounces, little crisscross. They're asking his opinion. Now this official's in. Ryan Breckel's trying to ask, why in the world are we talking about the ball? And now we're going to get started.
I guess they thought it was kind of flat. Not really
Aaron
sure.
Brown lining up for shot 1. That one no good. Rattles off the front and out. Trying to salvage something out of this trip. Brown's next shot is up and no good. Breckel gets the rebound.
Concordia had the opportunity to cut it to a 2-possession game there, but neither one of those free throws fell.
Stoltz to Heffley. Heffley to Breckel. Breckel at the top of the key. Hands it off to Stoltz. Slinging to Voss. Voss, 3. And the Warriors are back on the board. They're back up by 10.
And as you mentioned earlier, there's so many 3-point threats on this Wisconsin Lutheran team. It doesn't have to be just one guy they rely on for threes. Almost any one of them can do it.
Onenson calling a defensive play for his team. Collicott, nice no look to Brown for 2. How about that play right there from Collicott and Brown, and the Cougars back to single digits.
That was a beautiful pass by Collicott.
Now Voss for 3. No good. That's a long tip rebound, and the Cougars have a fast-paced opportunity. Brown can't reel in the pass. Stoltz is going to try and push the pace, driving into the paint, going for a shot, no shot. That's going to be a foul on the floor. Looks to be on Williams.
I think Brown thought the ball was headed out of bounds. He kind of slowed his momentum and started to lightly jog back and then realized, oh, wait a sec, they're keeping this ball in play.
Stoltz will inbound. Goes to Getz, and a great job from Getz. Got himself into open space, and that's good for 2.
Collicott tried to get a hand on it, but was unable to do so.
Watts taking point now, working on Heffley. Watts moving left. Now he'll move right. Slicing into the paint. Passing into Brown. Brown working on Breckel. No shot. Charge called on Brown.
Coach Searles in disbelief over that call. He did not think that was a charge whatsoever.
Now Breckel thought about 3. He'll drive in instead. Now Voss thought about 3. That's disrupted by Watts. Collicott driving in. Giving it off to Watts. Watts backing out after coverage from Getz. Still trying to find an option. Bring it all the way to the right. Handing off to Collicott. Collicott spinning into the paint. Goes up for it. Blocked by Getz. Collicott gets loose ball to Beckman. Short shot is in. And I think what Searles had a problem with on that charge is Breckel looked like he was in the restricted area. Now Voss beyond the arc. Breckel down on the baseline, working on Beckman. He's going to take it himself, go up, and no good. Rebound, Collicott. Quick pass to Watts. Into Beckman! No good. Beckman rushed the layup, and it's rebounded by the Warriors. Here's Heffley for 3. No good. Jacob Heffley misses that one. Voss, corner 3. And there it is. Highest percentage shot. In basketball goes in. There's an off-ball foul after the basket, and Ryan Breckel is now at 4 fouls on the day.
Boy, that is not what you want to see if you're Wisconsin Lutheran. Breckel has been your team. He's got 19 points. Now that he's got 4 fouls. That is not what you want to see.
So the basket counts.
Right.
And
was it on Beckman, 33? Maybe? I don't think I've ever seen one like that before.
Looks like it was. 3 from Stoltz, no good. Rebounded by Williams.
All right, so Breckel's not in as much foul trouble as we thought he might be.
White from 3, slinging over to Pryor. Now Collicott working from the key, working in, getting it to White. Driving on Stoltz, and now that'll be a foul called on Stoltz.
And that'll be Stoltz's 3rd of the game. So now he's going to be in a little bit of foul trouble here.
Anamdu coming into the game for Heffley. So Williams will inbound for the Cougars. That'll be into Pryor, straight back to Williams. Corner 3. No good. Rebound, Breckel. Getz working into the paint to Breckel. Now Breckel out to Voss. Voss back to Breckel, working on White. Baseline drive, puts it up. No good, but he draws the foul, so we'll head to the line.
Interesting that Breckel's had some opportunities to shoot a 3, and he's 3 for 4 in the first half, but in the second half, he's decided to drive the lane instead.
So Breckel, his second trip to the line today. First one was on and one. He missed the shot. This one is for two. He misses the first shot. Darian Williams coming out of the game for A.J. Willard. So Breckel, second shot opportunity. And the official calls a quick pause of play, tells Ryan Breckel to tuck in his shirt. And that one is in. So Breckel goes 1 for 2, salvages that trip to the line.
And that's actually Ryan Breckel's first point of the second half. He's been around a lot, but he hasn't been able to get any points.
Watts to Collicott. Collicott trying to move with pace. Slinging back out to Willard. Straightaway three. No good. That's out of bounds. That'll be Warriors ball.
That three just didn't have enough sauce on it. Ended up bouncing out of bounds, and now Wisconsin Lutheran gets the ball back with their 12-point lead.
Stoltz working the baseline. Double teamed. Gets it to Anamdu. Anamdu down to the corner to Chisholm. Chisholm, mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Breckel over Collicott's head. Now Anamdu for three, no good. And Collicott's able to get to the rebound, pushing the pace. Gets it out to Watts for three. That one's good. Again, another high arcer from Joel Watts.
Back to a one-possession game. Or not.
Stoltz for three, and he responds. Jacob Stoltz, his first three of the day. It's a 12-point game again.
And just when Concordia gets it to single digits, what I meant to say earlier, Wisconsin Lutheran gets it right back.
Watts driving out to Collicott. Now Collicott driving, mid-range jumper, no good. And that's going to be a late foul call on the Warriors. Collicott wanted a shooting foul. It'll stay on the floor. Watts will inbound. And that inbound disrupted by Breckel. And White's going to get tagged with a transition foul.
Don't think Breckel was intentionally trying to break it up. It just kind of ended up going off the back of him. And, hey, worked out well for Wisconsin Lutheran.
Namdu inbound for WLC. Stoltz running point. Working on Willard. Takes a pick from Breckel, driving in, spinning, going for the short shot. No good. Rebound Collicott. Collicott's pushing the pace mightily this time. Slings it across to Watts. Watts loses his dribble, gets it out to White. Now Watts thought about a three. Back out to White. That's it, picked off by Stoltz. So Stoltz now with a fast break opportunity to Getz and in. Grayson Getz gets a fast break too. And it's now a 14-point game. And now they're going to tag.
I think it was a timeout called by Concordia.
So Coach Searle's going to call his first full timeout of the half. And as they take a break down on the court, we'll take a break here at the Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment for more Cougar basketball. Welcome back to Geisman Gymnasium. Warriors leading 59-45 out of the timeout. And the Cougars will have possession coming out of the break.
Been a very back-and-forth game here in this second half to start. Not back and forth in terms of lead changes, but back and forth as both teams are nailing their shots, it feels like.
Watts will inbound. Warriors showing a high press on the Cougars. Cougars have their play drawn up. Lowry drives in. Over to Watts. Watts, now an opportunity to go quickly to Williams. Williams back out to Watts. Watts moving backwards, a little back shuffle. Cutting right, cutting in, tries to get it to Brown. Brown has to do a double take, throws it up, but he does draw the foul. That's going to get tagged on Ryan Breckel.
So that's going to be his fourth now.
And now you see the sub, Austin Wagner, getting ready to come in for the big man. Backup center for this WLC squad. Aaron Brown at the line now. He's 0 for 2 from the line today. First one's up and no good again.
0 for 3 from the line now.
Breckel out of the game. He's trying to understand what the last foul call was. Brown's second free throw up and in. So Brown salvages that trip, goes 1 for 2. Cougars showing a high press on the Warriors.
Now that Breckel's out of the game, he's been their leading scorer. Cougars with a chance to potentially try to cut this lead down to the single digits.
Getz dishing off to Voss. Voss driving in, sees an opportunity, doesn't get it. Now back out to Getz. Getz thought about a three, tries to get it to Voss, and Voss in a tough spot. And a good play from Williams to just slap that down out of bounds. It looks like we're going to get our first timeout, a second timeout of the half from Coach Onenson.
Well, Brown may have only made one of the free throws, but still, it was a foul called on Breckel, so he is in deep foul trouble now. We might not see him until we get to around the 5-minute mark, depending on how close this game becomes.
And the good news for WLC is they don't really desperately need Breckel out on the court right now. They have a 13-point lead. They have a lot of options on the court. Wagner's been decent in the minutes he's been on the court already today. And the thing is, none of the real other threats from this Wisconsin Lutheran squad have materialized today. Jacob Stoltz has struggled 2 for 9 from the field. Jacob Heffley's only put up 2 shots today. 1 for 2 from the field, and there's both threes. So this is a team that has a lot of opportunity, a lot of other threats out there that haven't materialized that could still materialize in the last 11 and a half minutes, and that really is what makes this team so dangerous.
It's the way they got to being the number 8th ranked team in the nation. You have lots of people being able to do lots of things, so if one of them goes down, you're not totally screwed.
Anamdu looking for somewhere to go. Able to find Getz in the corner. Collicott slaps it out of bounds immediately.
Almost had a 5-second violation there. Now they just have to do the whole thing over again with 1 less second on the shot clock.
Anamdu inbounding from the corner, able to get it into Wagner. Now Getz driving towards the baseline, covered by Brown. Step back, shot from Getz from 3, no good. Rebound Collicott. Collicott trying to push the pace, getting it into Brown. Brown working paint, short little hook, no good. Collicott, offensive rebound, out to Watts. Watts to Brown. Brown, 3. Short again. Williams in for the rebound. Out to Collicott now. Collicott, a quick pass to Lowry. Lowry will slow this down a bit. Now Watts at the top, loses his dribble, down to the ground, has it, and that's going to be a jump ball. That's going to be the Cougars' possession still. 8 seconds left on the shot clock.
Concordia had several chances there, couldn't get anything to fall, but now they'll have 8 seconds left on the shot clock to try to make the most of this third chance opportunity.
Inbound to Watts. 7-6-5. Collicott driving in, out to Lowry. Lowry's going to have to put it up. He does, and it's in! Give him and one! Chalice Lowry spins up and gets the points and the foul.
And that will be the first of the night on Voss, I believe.
Chance for a three-point play for the freshman. First free throws up, no good. And Lowry gets his own rebound. Lowry working baseline again. Thought about going up for it, does go up for it. Fade away, no good. Rebounded by Voss.
Had the chance to make up for the missed free throw, but was unable to do so.
Gets over to Stoltz. Stoltz to Voss. 3, wide left. Rebounded by Heffley. Heffley into Wagner. Stoltz to Heffley. Back to Stoltz. Stoltz, long 3, well short of the hoop. Rebounded by Burkhart, no good. Rebounded by Voss. And Collicott disrupts. And
threw it away?
Collicott was tripped, no call.
But it all worked out.
Quick ball to Collicott, pushing the pace, driving on Stoltz, puts it up.
And one!
Hoop and harm for Jacob Collicott.
Ooh. And that's Stoltz's 4th. So it doesn't matter whether or not we've set him much in this game, because we're not going to see him most likely for a bit, as he's now 1 foul away from being out of the game for good.
And Jaquel Chisholm subbing back into the game for Stoltz. None of the Warriors too happy about that. Really, that loose ball was interesting. It looked like Collicott's leg was grabbed, and that's why he went down on the other side of the court. And Collicott able to recover, able to make it a big three-point play for the Cougars. And the Cougars, still a large gap, but they're not making it a quiet large gap.
No.
Now gets driving in, and that's a steal. Brown pushing the pace, slings it to Watts. Watts, 3. No good, well over the hoop.
He was too hyped for that one and put too much strength behind it.
Now Getz pushing the pace, lobbing it into Burkhart. Burkhart that's punched out of bounds by Collicott. And the follow-through caught Burkhart's eye. So as Burkhart recovers, it'll be Warriors possession. Couple of subs for the Cougars. Willard in for Williams. Beckman in for Brown. Heffley to inbound, gets it to Getz. Getz working on Beckman, 3. That one's good. Getz got some curve on it, and that's splash in for 3. Beckman now driving on Getz. Gets the layup. Quick response from the Cougars.
Concordia is not going to let them celebrate that one too quickly.
Quickly to Burkhart. Burkhart working on Beckman. Shots up, no good. Rebounded by Watts. Quick transition, looking for Collicott. Collicott working on Getz. And the hoop! And harm! And 1 for Collicott. Foul on Getz!
Wow. Wow.
Jacob Collicott, a little spinning reverse layup. And it's a chance for another three-point play. That makes it a double-double for Jacob Collicott. Chance to add more points to his total here. Up and in. That's another three-point play for Jacob Collicott.
And we're now at a 2-possession game.
Chisholm working on Willard. Now Getz working on Collicott. Slashing in, layup, and in. A great response from Grayson Getz.
Collicott tried to get a hand on it, but was unable to make contact with the ball.
Now Collicott working on Chisholm. Slashing in. Long layup. No good. Rolled around the rim and out. Voss under a tight press from Watts. Collicott covering Getz. Gets swarmed by Watts. Now Heffley slashing that in. Pryor intercepts. Collicott gets the loose ball. Quick dish to Beckman. Beckman driving in. Layup. No good. Had to go for the reverse. Couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah.
Gets pushing. Heffley, 3. No good. Rebounded by Pryor.
And Onenson wanted a foul on the rebound, didn't get it.
Now Watts, mid-range, slinging over to Collicott. 4-3. No good. Beckman put back, no good. Rebounded by Chisholm. Now Burkhart, chance for a shot.
Oh!
And Collicott tagged with a foul. He doesn't like it. The Cougars don't like it. And the Warriors bench being told to sit down by these officials who aren't making really either bench happy right now. And it'll be 2 shots at the line for Burkhart.
From our angle here, it looked to me like Collicott had all ball, but ref said otherwise.
Burkhart makes his first. And we have pretty much a full line change for the Cougar. Watts the only player still out on the court. Pryor, White, Johnson, Watts, and Williams is the lineup for the Cougars now. And Burkhart goes 2 for 2.
Back up to a 10-point game.
Watts running point. Williams coming across on the baseline. Slings it to Williams. Over to Pryor. Pryor to Watts. Watts, top of the key. Back to Johnson. Johnson to White. Back to Watts. 3. And good! Joel Watts, the fadeaway! Bangs it in. And it's a 7-point game.
I think the official is telling the...
Joel Watts stays electric, and you're right, Eric. They're adding 3 seconds to the clock. 7:16 left in the game now.
Back to a 7-point game.
Cougars doing their best to keep this game exciting. Grayson Getz running point, working on Collicott, who's back into the game. Got a minute breather, and now he's back for more. Getz working on Collicott, driving, baseline, no shot, foul on Collicott.
Ooh, and that's going to be Collicott's 4th foul of the night. With 7 minutes left, though, hitting crunch time, you wonder if maybe we're going to see some of the Wisconsin Lutheran players that were in foul trouble coming out to try to close out the game.
Lowry comes in for Collicott. Collicott's not happy about it. With the Cougars fighting to stay alive, it'll probably be Collicott sits on the bench till about 4 minutes left, and then he comes back in. Getz' first free throw is up and in. Looking to go 2 for 2 now. And he does. 68-59 with 7 minutes to go.
And it seems like despite how much Concordia tries to do, Wisconsin Lutheran's able to keep them at around the 7, 8, or 9-point range.
Lowry over to Watts. Watts slashing in. Layup. No good. Just short. Johnson now put back. And one! Riker Johnson gets the hoop and the harm, and now he'll have a chance at the free throw line.
Johnson just entered into the game, been in for 2 minutes, and he's already got 2 points, looking to make it 3.
Johnson, his first points of the game, chance for the big 3-point play. Up and in. And Riker Johnson makes it a 6-point game.
Concordia not going down without a fight.
Grayson Getz working on Darian Williams. Still working. Spins around. Driving in. Dishes out to Heffley. Heffley, 3. And good. And just when they needed him, Heffley comes back alive.
Wisconsin Lutheran answers the Concordia 3-point play with a 3 ball of their own.
Now Watts driving in. Spin. Short shot. And in. Joel Watts responds with a 2. 7-point game. Now you see Coach Onenson putting in his closers. Jacob Stoltz and Ryan Breckel head to the scorer's table.
Both of them got 4 fouls. Onenson figures it's time for them to come back in.
Travel! And that's a travel called on Grayson Getz. Good defensive play from Darian Williams. Pushed the ball up against Getz's thigh, so turnover. Johnson will inbound now as you see Stoltz, Namdu, and Breckel back into the game.
Breckel and Stoltz dealing with foul trouble. They're hoping to avoid any straight charges right at them here in the last few minutes.
Tallis Lowry working on the near sideline. Oh, good move from Lowry into the paint. Reverse layup and in! Tallis Lowry cuts the lead to 5.
Concordia not going quietly.
Stoltz driving, layup, and in. Stoltz responds, back to 7. Lowry to Watts. Watts going to work it on Heffley.
And that's why Onenson brought Stoltz and Breckel back in so that they could help this Wisconsin Lutheran team keep pushing Concordia back.
Williams driving on Getz. Past the baseline, slings to White. White all the way across to Johnson. Johnson to Lowry. Lowry working on Stoltz. Slowly driving in, dishing to White. White, 3.
No.
And that's tipped maybe by Breckel.
Looked like Breckel got a finger or two on it.
And Stoltz will slow this down. Driving in, easy layup for Stoltz, and he'll draw the and one. A reckless challenge from Riker Johnson. And Stoltz a chance to make this a 10-point play.
Concordia cut this lead to 5, and Stoltz said, all right, I'm going to keep my team with the lead. He scored the last 4, looking to get this layup to make it 5. Collicott's coming back into the game. Like you said, John, with a little over 4 minutes remaining.
Coach Searles looking to get his squad back within striking distance. Stoltz gets the 3. Quick inbound to Watts. 4.5 to go in the game. Cougars trail by 10. Watts moving in on Heffley. Sends Lowry in. Calls over Williams. Sends it to Williams. Williams to Collicott now. Collicott looking to drive on Stoltz, and he will. Slings it to Williams. Corner 3. No good. Short. May have been tipped as well. So Stoltz will take point now. Trying to extend this lead beyond 10 late.
And time is on Wisconsin Lutheran's side here.
Stoltz pump fake. Quick dish to Breckel. Breckel charging on White. No shot. Foul on White. White's not happy about it. And I looked like he did have most ball, but that will send Breckel to the line. 1-and-1 opportunity as the Warriors are in the bonus.
Breckel's 1 for 3 from the line earlier tonight. Big factor in the first half, 19 points, only 1 in the second half.
Breckel's first attempt is up and in. Makes it an 11-point game. And the Cougars, they've stopped scoring. And the Warriors have started scoring. 6-0 run in the last minute, 3 for their last 3, as Breckel's shot makes it a 12-point game.
Now Concordia's really got to start getting their shots here and also start playing some locked-in defense in order to try to cut this lead with less than 4 minutes to go.
Watts going to take point up against Heffley. Driving in, still driving in. Goes up against Breckel, and that's going to be out of bounds off of Watts.
Don't think Concordia realized that it was Wisconsin Lutheran ball there.
Cougars were confident it was tipped. So Heffley will inbound. Finds on Namdu. Namdu heavy press from Pryor, and they're going to tag Pryor with a foul. So that'll send a Namdu to the line for a 1-and-1.
And with that, Wisconsin Lutheran's going to be in the double bonus. That's not what you want if you're Concordia Chicago and you're trying to get back in this game.
Namdu's first shot is up and good. And that one, no good. Pryor with the rebound.
3.5 minutes here from Concordia to try to pull off a 13-point comeback.
Watts running point. Driving in, handoff to Collicott. Collicott driving on Breckel. Layup, no good. Rebound by Pryor. Pryor, putback is good.
Nice play by Pryor to get the rebound and the shot.
Ryan Breckel playing it safe. Now Getz driving to Breckel. To Heffley for 3. Heffley really embracing that role as the closer. He's now 3 for 5 from the perimeter, and Coach Searles will call a timeout. That's a full timeout for the Cougars.
Concordia trying to stay in this, but Wisconsin Lutheran, 4 of their last 4 from the field, hit several of the layups that they've been taking. Jonathan, what does Concordia need to do to try to come back in the last 3 minutes?
You can't really miss from here on out because Wisconsin Lutheran isn't missing. That's the problem. There's not much you can do. They're not the easiest shots in the world that the Warriors are getting either. That 3 from Heffley, good shot. It was a good shot. Well created, good opportunity. Still wasn't a gimme wide open 3.
No, it was contested.
The Warriors are hitting their shots, so the Cougars, you have to start hitting your shots. You have to hit all of them because the Warriors aren't going to miss much down the stretch. The Cougars' chances are dwindling. You're down 14. You got 3 minutes. Even if the Warriors are missing all their shots, you've still got to hit all your shots just to claw back from a 14-point deficit.
Yeah, Concordia's got a mountain to climb if they want to force overtime or get the win in regulation.
And it really is those closers that Coach Onamdu put in. It's that last point where the Cougars looked like they might have a chance, that 5-point deficit. You send in Breckel, you send in Stoltz, you send in Onamdu. The Warriors have really just taken back control and made this a 14-point game. Watts to Collicott, back to Watts. Watts working on Heffley. They'll hand it off to Collicott. Collicott thinking about driving. He will drive. He'll put that up. Floater and in.
12-point game. And again, time is not on the side.
And the Warriors forced to call a timeout so that Getz doesn't get tagged with a 5-second violation.
Again, less than 3 minutes here. Time is not on Concordia's side. Not only do they need to score, but they need to score quickly in order to make up the point difference here.
They need to score quickly, and they need to play lights out defense. If the Warriors just have to keep doing what they've been doing, drain the clock, put up a good shot because they've been great at creating those good shots, pick up 2 or 3 points, and that keeps the Cougars out of reach.
Yeah. Wisconsin Lutheran's 12 for 15 from the line tonight, 80%. If they can just keep driving and making Concordia give them fouls, then, hey, they can hit the free throws to keep Concordia at arm's length.
Anamdu to inbound. Gets it to Getz. Getz slinging back over to Anamdu. And Heffley for 3. That's the closer. Jacob Heffley, 3 straight trays. And it's a 15-point game. Watts driving in. That's tipped out of bounds by Breckel.
As the ball bounces along, the fans on the other side. Yeah, Heffley, he came back into this game. He said, all right, I'm going to finish this one up for my guys.
Inbound to Watts, over to Pryor. Pryor driving, goes up for the layup, and no good. Great challenge from Ryan Breckel. So Stoltz will run point as we close in on 2 minutes. Working on Willard. Spin move. Stoltz driving, goes up for it, and that'll be a foul tagged on, should be Pryor. That'll send Stoltz to the line for 2. Stoltz, 1 shot at the line on an and 1, and he made it.
Now looking to hit one or both of them here, help push this Wisconsin Lutheran lead to a point where they can make sure that Concordia can't come back.
First free throw, no good. Cougars prepping up the wave of subs. Carson Knoll in for A.J. Willard, Sean Beckman, and Elijah White in for Kenton Pryor and Darian Williams. Carson Knoll has not seen the court yet today. This is his first game action. Stoltz' second shot, no good as well. 0 for 2 on that trip.
Missed them both, but again, with a 15-point lead, you're not super concerned about that. You figure this game's probably out of reach.
Now Watts working towards the paint. Still driving in, tries to sling it to Beckman. Beckman started moving the other way. That'll go out of bounds. That's a turnover, Warriors ball.
And here at the end, Wisconsin Lutheran has just been playing good, solid defense to make sure that Concordia can't get back into this game.
They've been doing what they've been doing. And again, it goes back to when you brought back in Ryan Breckel. Breckel slings it to Heffley. Now Heffley, high press, gets it to Breckel. Breckel slings it into Stoltz, and Stoltz up for 2.
And that'll make this a 17-point game, and you figure this one is probably officially out of reach.
And Williams responds with a floater of his own. 1.5 minutes to go. Anamdu into Heffley. Heffley slinging along the baseline. Collicott gets the loose ball and goes up for 2.
13-point game. Concordia needs a few more possessions just like that.
Now Anamdu working on Pryor, slinging to Breckel. Breckel up and in, makes it a 15-point game again. These two teams trading blows back and forth. Watts driving into Collicott. Collicott up again, no good. But he will draw the foul. That one tagged to Heffley.
So Collicott will be going to the line to shoot 2. He's 3 for 4 in this game, hoping to hit them both here.
I mean, both of these teams have really just made sure to turn it on in the final stretch. Cougars 4 for their last 5. Warriors 7 for their last 7.
Not sure what that was all about.
Collicott's first shot up and in. Lowry subs in for Williams. And second shot up, no good. Willard tips it towards out of bounds, and that'll go out of bounds off of Collicott. That's Warriors possession. Collicott goes 1 for 2. It's the right idea from Willard. You can make contact with it, get it out of that mess in the middle. Heffley inbounds to Stoltz, back to Breckel. Breckel back to Heffley. Heffley covered by Watts, able to get it to Breckel. Into Anamdu, and fouled by Pryor.
Do question maybe intentionally fouling at this point. You're down 14, 53 seconds. Probably not getting back into it, especially since Wisconsin Lutheran shooting 70% from the charity stripe.
Anamdu at the line today is 1 for 2. Make it 1 for 3. He'll look to salvage this with his second shot. And Anamdu does salvage that trip. Stays 50% from the line today. So we Collicott to inbound for the Cougars. Watts takes the inbound, back over to Collicott, moving with pace. Collicott, 3, step up, no good, rebound Breckel. And that makes it a double-double on the day for Breckel, 10th rebound. Anamdu to Heffley. Heffley back to Anamdu. And now Anamdu driving in, slings it to Voss. The Warriors just draining the clock. The Cougars not being too aggressive. Back to Voss. Now Voss slinging over to Breckel. 4 and 3, and it looks like the Warriors will just take the shot clock violation. So the Cougars will probably just take this possession slow and run this clock out. 15-point lead for WLC.
It was close to 1 point out of 5-point game, but since Breckel and Stoltz came in, they were
Quick
just
inbound to Collicott. Williams, 4-3, in. Late 3 from Williams.
make it a 12-point game.
And now the Cougars will intentionally foul, so CUC deciding they're not done yet. It'll be Getz at the line. And Getz, who's made one trip to the free throw line. He's perfect so far, 2 for 2. First shot's up, first shot's good.
He'll move to 3 for 3 from the line tonight. Get his 16th now, looking for his 17th points of the game. Richie Getz.
And with 9 seconds left, Watts moving down court, slinging to Williams, slinging to Collicott. Corner 3. No good, and that's how the game will end. WLC picks up their 7th straight win, 92-78 over the Cougars. They survive River Forest. CUC tried to put up a fight as much as they could. Couldn't get close enough and couldn't get the job done. And WLC just able to withstand and overwhelm the Cougars. Cougars fall by 14. And they'll move on from here to take on Edgewood College next on January 22nd, looking to break what's now a 4-game losing streak, all within conference. The Warriors, they move on from here to take on Marian University this next Wednesday, look to extend their winning streak to 8. And a couple of those standout players, we mentioned them a lot. Ryan Breckel really came in and shut down any hopes the Cougars had of getting back into this game with about 5 minutes left. He finished the night with a double-double, 25 points, 10 rebounds for the star big man. And it was a set of 4 players, all 4 of those stars on the Warriors getting into double digits. Heffley, Stoltz, and Getz with 12, 13, and 17 respectively. Heffley picking up that closer role, going 3 straight threes at the end of the game. A.J. Voss also reaching double digits himself. On the Cougars' end, big days from Joel Watts and Jacob Collicott. Watts, 18 points, 4 for 5 from range. Jacob Collicott, another double-double himself, 17 points, 16 rebounds, doing everything he could to keep the Cougars in this game. Aaron Brown, another big performance. Most minutes played in any game in his career here at Concordia Chicago, 21 minutes for 13 points. Darian Williams also in double digits with 10, reaching out on that late 3 at the end of the game. Cougars ended up shooting 42% from the field. Warriors shot 48%. Eric, before we head out, any final closing thoughts for today's game?
Well, going into halftime, this was the Ryan Breckel show, but then Concordia did a good job of neutralizing him and getting him in foul trouble, but then when he went out, the other starters picked up. Like you said, Heffley came in the closing stretch, nailed 3 straight threes. Stolz woke up, Voss woke up, and Getz ended up with 17 points. And it was them just being almost lights out that allowed them to keep the Cougars in a spot where they couldn't come back.
Absolutely. So I talked through all those players, a lot of big performances from both sides today. Who would you say was your player of the game? One for each team.
Ooh, Wisconsin Lutheran. Even though he wasn't as big a factor in the second half, Ryan Breckel, he had 19 first half points. And then when he came in at the end, he was able to help add size and help lock down Concordia's offense and made sure that Concordia didn't have any good opportunities, good shots. So for him, for Wisconsin, I'd say it's him. Looking at Concordia, Chicago, I'm gonna go with Joel Watts. He was almost perfect from 3, 4 for 5, and he was just a big factor in trying to keep pushing the pace and trying to help the Cougars get back in this. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so.
And that'll do it here in River Forest. Wisconsin Lutheran gets the sweep. They win both the women's and men's games. Number 8th ranked team in the nation takes down the Cougars 92-78 here, most recently headlined by another star performance from Ryan Breckel. A huge thanks to everyone who helped make this doubleheader possible. Our spotter today was Dave Dimling, Tyler Dorsch working the scoreboard. On camera today, we had Emily Lucero, Jalen Franklin, and Luciana Moran. Our producers today, Jess Gang and Ash Schroll. Our photographer today was Sasha Gonzalez. Our SIDs was Kayla McLeod today. I'm Jonathan Shearer on play-by-play with Eric Perry on color. That'll do it from all of us here at Cougar Sports Network. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to join us next time. As always, roll Cougs.